We're getting ready here for the Saturday afternoon feature class, our $25,000 Premier Grand Prix. We're excited about this. This is a great afternoon. We've been dodging the weather. We're hoping we dodge it continually through the rest of the afternoon. We have 28 starters, quite a few local horsemen here competing, and yet we have a couple of new people that are first time here at the Aiken Charity Horse Show. We've had, and while we're waiting for the first horse, look at Tara Metzner here with next Monday. Tara Metzner is from California, riding for Davlin Farms, John and Tammy Williams, and here's a young horse that bested the group. One of the few 3'3" horses that made it into the second round. Young horse showing a lot of jump, great exceptional ability. That it's quite exciting to watch this horse come from the very beginning until now, to walk in there and just really lay down two beautiful rounds for Tara, who came all the way from California. It's nice to be able to have them here, big supporters of Aiken. And again, big congratulations to all at Davlin Farm, Tara Metzner. It's a good thing I was finishing that sentence. And what are we going to now? Right. And there we are, getting prepared for opening ceremonies.
Next line up the center here a little bit. Here's another classic test for me. They need to jump the triple bar, move up in the 6 strides, and show me they can get deep for the double verticals. So a little bit of a careful test here, but it's going to be a bit snug inside after the 4 distance coming up. Again, to me, a bit of a classic question. We've got the scope through the triple combination and then careful with the double verticals. And then continue up to the Daniel Geisler Stables officer at the far end. A little bit of a break after that, and they're going to come across from east to west, from the Liverpool to the Viancourt fence in 5 strides. So it's going to run a little bit snug. Walks maybe shorter than it will ride with the Liverpool behind the vertical, but a little uphill to the center of the ring helps a little bit. And then a nice free gallop to the last fence stable view, which is our tallest fence on course. Like a little bit of gallop and a break to the last fence, creating a little bit of drama, so it should be a big course.
And that's Peter Grant talking about his course, Peter from Canada.
Anybody who you would consider a favorite, you're going to go politically correct down the middle and say anybody's going to win.
What's that?
Yeah, for me, being outside, I'm going to say there's a couple of Canadian riders that were written in the show or in the past. They went out to go upset.
Listen, this man coming to us from where he most times does not his work out of Spruce Meadows. That's one of the most elite jump tournaments in the sport, particularly here in North America. And so we've definitely drawn on some great talent with Peter Grant. As you make your way around here, what do you think is going to be the trickiest part of the course? Do you think that this fault's going to be fairly well distributed?
I think we'll have a fairly equal distribution. Double verticals, I would get 90, 7 seats for me can cause some problems. And then the flank can come up a little bit shorter than the riders are expecting, possibly. So those would be the 3 fences. If I was going to say came down a little bit more than the others, those would be my picks.
Okay.
Well, Peter, I'm going to let you get back on the booth. Hey, thanks for pitching here. I appreciate that. David Jennings will pay his penance a little later on. Maybe we'll talk to him before we get into that jump-off round. But it is Kentucky Derby Day, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody interested in watching the Derby with us today? By a round of applause, maybe. Anybody going to watch that Derby? Anybody have a favorite in the Derby? Maybe. I haven't been able to look at the line myself yet. I've been pretty busy here this week, but I just want to let you know that following the Grand Prix today, as soon as we're wrapped up with the awards, we're actually going to be having a Kentucky Derby party right there in the tent. We had an anonymous sponsor who gave us the option to have an open bar during that party. So that'll be a lot of fun. And you can notice that there are some big screen televisions located in that tent as well. So we will be streaming that Derby so you can watch all of the action. Now, post time is 6:50 for the Kentucky Derby here today, so we'll have plenty of time to get done with the class and then maybe have a couple of drinks before we actually move into the actual Derby itself and have a lot of fun this afternoon. But I kind of thought, in honor of the Kentucky Derby,
maybe we can do something a little special today, and that is going to be, we'll have to see how many kids have turned out. I think some of them may have gotten a little bit of stage fright earlier on because we had lots sign up, but then I think they got a little bit worried and backed out. But it looks like we've got them assembling at this point, and so I'm going to ask JP Goddard if he can help us to get those kids to come on out into the arena. What we're going to have is a bouncy horse derby. Now, the bouncy horses are a great toy, and I actually got into the act myself just outside the gate a little earlier. You might not believe it, but the small horses have a 200-pound weight limit, and the larger horses have a 300-pound weight limit. So, there's no excuse for any of you out there not maybe get in on that. Anybody in the tent want to come out and ride a bouncy horse in the derby? There's going to be a lot of pride that you're going to earn here by winning, baby. Listen, here's what we're going to do. Of course, the Kentucky Derby goes around in a circle, but today we're going to just do a straight line race. And what I think we'll do, maybe, we'll do it coming toward home. Why don't you guys follow me up this way, and we'll get a straight line starting right about in the middle of the ring. Okay, and then we'll line you up. Maybe this young man right here, Mr. Goddard is going to make a finish line down at that end. This young man right here is actually choosing not to ride a derby pony, but it looks like a derby puppy, which is fine, whatever you want. And we'll line all of you up right here. So basically, this fence number 7A is going to be the start line. You can start right here. Go ahead and line up in front of me. Is John Franz revving the house? Yes. John, can you give us just a little something called the post like you would do for the classes here? Now listen up, here's going to be your call to the post. John Franz Rev, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. That was impromptu, I'll let you know. So listen, here's what I'm going to do. Can I bring you two a little bit forward? You need a little bit of a head start. Come with me this way. We're going to give them this much of a head start. Is that okay with you all? I think it's kind of fair. Okay, and here's what we're going to do. The finish line is down that way. Do you see where the two trees are, everybody? That's your finish line. First one to that finish line is going to be the winner, okay? But not until I say go, all right? Riders, take your mounts. You're at the gate. Now, wait a minute. Okay, you can get that head start. That's fine. And on your mark, get set, go! Let's see who's going to win here. We got a couple of bouncy ponies and bouncy puppies. Ms. Carly is in the lead, but it is neck and neck coming down the straight toward that beautiful white Mercedes-Benz, and it looks like it was a photo finish. We're going to have to go to the wire. Mr. Goddard is going to be the line judge here. Let's check it out. That was truly neck and neck. Wow, I mean, I wish I could display this on the board right now because you would see exactly how close it was. But we do have 2 blue ribbons since it was a tie. Listen, first of all, I want to give all of you a high five. Nice job. Thanks for helping us to celebrate the Derby Day here. This puppy's name is Cody. Give me 5. Awesome job. Listen, I want to say, first of all, thanks to the Tack Room of Camden, South Carolina for providing the bouncy ponies. What's the name of these toys, do you know? Roadies. They are called roadies, actually, and they are available for sale. A little bit sandy, but no worse for the wear. Back at the Tack Room after we finish up, so if you guys want to buy one of these things, they are a lot of fun. Actually, I really wish that I didn't have to do the microphone stuff here because I would have been on one of those myself, and I think I probably could have beat one of these two. I don't know. I might have had a little bit of an unfair advantage. But anyway, come on up here. Let's give you your blue ribbons. We got a tie. I know Taylor. Taylor, congratulations. And what's your name? Will, what's your last name?
Parsons.
Will Parsons and Taylor Cawley, our 2 winners in the Bouncy Horse Derby today. Congratulations. We got some bubble makers and we got some blue ribbons. Taylor and what did you say your name was one more time? Will Parsons. That's right. I'm sorry. It goes in one ear and out the other. Will, that's what my mom used to say. Anyway, so there they are for the victory photograph. Congratulations. And these were very close in the place and show sections there, but congratulations to all of you. Thank you for having so much fun with us today. We really appreciate it.
Are you going to talk your mom or dad into buying you one of these roadie ponies? Yes? Yes. Oh, you have one already? Well, you've been practicing then, haven't you? All right, congratulations there. We appreciate that. I thought that was a little bit of fun. Let's give them a hand now, folks. Come on. Okay. And so, that was our Bouncy Horse Derby. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Mike Lowry in the booth.
So thanks, Brian, for all of that. And just a quick overview of the course once again. Our course designer Peter Grant laying out a course 2A format again at the end of the first round. Clear rounds return for a jump off against the clock. 4 faults for a knockdown, 4 faults for a disobedience, a refusal, run out, crossing one's track. Second disobedience resulting in elimination. Once again at the end of the first round, any ties return for a jump up, a short track. We'll talk more about that later. Brian's here with the South Aiken National Junior ROTC Color Guard. We're pleased to have him with us here this afternoon. Ian Cassett with the United States flag, John Christensen with the state of South Carolina flag, along with right guard Scott Hayslip, left guard Willem Hayslip. And I present to you our color guard here to present the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and remove cover. Once again, glad to have with us here today Brian Lookaville, former resident of Aiken. He's happy to be home again. He's proud to pay tribute to our country and to those who defended overseas and at home. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Lookaville to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And a nice way to begin our afternoon here. Looking forward to the first horse joining us shortly. John Franzreb is going to sound the call before the first horse.
And ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice round of applause for the South Aiken National Junior ROTC Color Guard. Nice job. Ian Cassett, John Christensen, Scott Hayslip, and Willem Hayslip presenting the colors. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the 2019 Aiken Charity Horse Show. These 2 weeks are something we here at Bruce's Field look forward to and plan for all year. We're so grateful to all of the wonderful officials, the sponsors, volunteers, vendors, spectators, and of course, our exhibitors that have supported us and make this event so special. Thank you, good luck, and once again, welcome to Bruce's Field.
And here we have John Franzreb sounding the call.
Top of the order is approaching the gates, ready to get started with our first 2 Grand Prix here at Bruce's Field this spring. $25,000 Aiken Premier Grand Prix, and standing in the field now from Staten Island, New York, John Franzreb to sound the call. Thanks, John Franzreb. Nice job as well. And second, ready to go. Top of the order in the field. First of 28 original starters, entry number 449 on course. Here's CSF Royal Cruise. Daniel Geithner aboard for CDS Stables.
And our local rider, Daniel Geithner, first of his several rides here in this Grand Prix. Daniel has called this home for he and his wife Kathy since they literally got out of college, and our beloved Bruce Duchessois literally started their business all those years ago with some of the thoroughbreds off the track that he had from Chicago. And when he based himself here in Aiken and
CSF
he went by and saw
Cruise,
Bruce,
12-year-old Irish
Bruce said, well, why don't you start with a few of these horses and we'll see how you do. And quite a few years later, they're still here with about 60 to 70 horses in training here at their DFG stables. So Daniel Geithner first on course. "16 jumping efforts. Time allowed in the first round is 87 seconds. And finishing up over the last jump there.
Rail down at 9A, a 4-fault score for Daniel and CSF Royal Cruise. 86.736 is within the time allowed of 88 seconds.
So just within the time with just the 4 faults there. Give us an idea of how this time is going to go. Remember, we always have 3 riders. The judges have a choice to make, whether in a decision, whether they actually change the time allowed by the time the 3rd horse goes. So we'll get a better idea here.
Kill Bunny, Vasily, number 649.
And Kill Bunny, Vasily, and Jillian Beal King. This is a big step for her, and I know she's been looking forward to showing here, and her trainer Andrea King is going to join us in a little bit and talk about her journey to get to this level.
Kill Bunny, Vasily, 11-year-old Irish sport horse mare.
Yeah, good recovery there from dropping her reins.
And nicely done, Jillian Bill King and Giovanni Vasili turning a clear round at no faults. 87.907 is the time.
Just within the time there, and that's a clear round.
So a clear round, our automatic class leader, our second in. And moving on now to our third on course in 573 is Kyle Dewar aboard the first of his 3 rides in today's class. Is F Gunsmoke RHF.
And as you can see on course now, Kyle Dewar with his F Gunsmoke RHF.
One of our young horses in the field today, Dutch Warm Blood Gelding, 8 years old. Entry of Joan Burke of Lake Forest, Illinois. Young horse stepping up to the Grand Prix ranks here this spring. Kyle Dewar aboard F Gunsmoke RHF.
And see if the combination's down. And the end jump again, the DFG Stables. Looks like coming home with 8 faults.
2 rails down for Kyle 7C and 10 down on course 8 jumping. We'll add 1 for time, 88.06.
And it looks like 1 time as well, so a total of 9 faults.
Over the course, finishing up on 9.
And now, as we said, the time allowed after the first 3 horses go.
The next on course is Haley Gassel from Lenore City, Tennessee, aboard the West Wind Equine Training Center entry.
And it looks like they're going to keep that time allowed. So again, time allowed is 87 seconds.
Holly and Quite Dark, 2 consistent competitors in Grand Prix competitions for the last few years. Picked up a win at the $50,000 class in Ocala in March. Is our 4th to go now in today's class. And that's 2 for 2 for the ladies in today's class. No faults.
There she is. Second clear round for Haley Gassel.
Clear round
and quite dark too.
Off. $652 next to compete in our class today. Here's Quintessence. Aiken's own Doug Payne showing for Jane Dudinsky of Free Union, Virginia.
And now watching on course here is Doug Payne with Quintessence. And joining me is Andrea King from Aiken, South Carolina here, who's very excited about having Jillian Beal King be our first clear round. I know you are. Talk about what you saw on course, Andrea. What did you think about the course?
Course is lovely. It's just lovely. This is a young horse for her, and she's very young at this. This is her first National Grand Prix. We're very, very proud of her. Michelle Valancourt was nice enough to walk the course with us. He gave us some great tips.
Perfect. I love to hear that. Michelle is going to be here next week, as you know, course designing.
Right. He was wonderful.
Watch Doug Payne now and talk about the course a little bit, how you think it rode.
The course rode just as nice as can be. I mean, if you did the right numbers and you rode, we were very lucky because the time allowed was very tight. We were 88.9, 87.9, and the time allowed is 88. Doug, being from Aiken too, he just moved from 19th to 5th at Rolex last weekend.
This is exciting. You know, we've talked about this earlier, watching Doug on course now, and with him basing himself here. You know, this has been something that we've been talking about this week, but isn't it nice to see Doug here because he goes to New Jersey next week, I think, for a big event. Yeah,
Jersey Fresh, but not as big as Rolex. Is a 5-star, the only one we have in this country, and he really made us all proud. He's worked very, very hard as his show jumping. Maybe we need to work on his dressage. He was 19th in the dressage.
Right. And that's something here that hopefully we can be able to do at Bruce's Field. We have included dressage quite a bit now, and it's slowly but surely getting better. I mean, people are really drawing to it quite a bit here.
Yes.
And I think that's important. We've talked about having the different disciplines, but that would be something right here that we can have in town.
Right.
As you said, and here we go.
Another
clear. We like this. It's going to have a good jump off.
It's going to be fun. And we have a good crowd, and we lost the storm, thank heavens.
We lost the storm. Once again, we
now, he
somehow.
was 84. We were 88, so he got around very tightly.
Talk about now as we watch a young rider here, Chase Boggio, on co-pilot. This is somebody that I know you've seen in the past ride. Tell me about when these...
His whole life. I saw him through the equitation, the hunters, the jumpers. He's got a very supportive family. He's got a supportive sister. He's a businessman. He's over there with his computer on his Apple computer, and he's he's doing business and riding, which is great to see.
Chase Boggio and co-pilot.
You know, it's a real family affair for him. He and his girlfriend.
Heather Hooker.
And they just love coming here, and then his parents are here for the weekend. It's just nice to see because they come together, and this is a big class for him. He's going to come and join us in a little while and talk about his round.
Oh, good.
But I really enjoy Chase. He's a great guy.
Super. Always been, you know, one of those kind of kids that did everything the right way.
Yeah. Good way to put it.
He's looking like he's doing pretty well.
Does that line catch up to them a little bit across the center like that?
What do you
think? Yeah,
yes.
It looks like that.
This footing is very, very good, and I will say the horses seem to gather more stride. This morning we were doing the low amateurs, and the little thoroughbred that has a little trouble with the strides got right down the line.
I like that. That's good.
Oops. The triple is going to cause some trouble, I think. It did the other day in the welcome.
Do you think it's drawing them in? How do you? What do you
think?
Well,
he's got a big vertical, right? It's Oxford,
exactly.
Big vertical, and then it's like kick out over an Oxford. They're not huge, and they're not really wide, so it's very doable. But it's something you need to pay attention to. So we're happy that this event is here in Aiken, and I have to tell you guys, Scott, you and the whole committee have done an amazing job.
That means a lot.
I am so proud.
Well, and that's what we love. You know, that's what we love because that's what Bruce always wanted, is that everybody felt like they had a stake in this horse park. So we're coming home with 2 down, I think that was.
Okay.
3 rails down, 12.
Three.
Came with 3. Okay, so 12 faults for Chase. But talk about what that, again, Andrew, you're a professional here. It's year-round here for you now.
Yes.
You really use this horse park because what people don't realize is that we have our Tuesday shows, which are quite popular now,
they're
aren't they?
amazing. They are
Talk
amazing.
about that
the
a little
Tuesday
bit.
shows, you can come over here and you can bring your young horses, and for a very, very reasonable amount of money, you can go. And they also have, what they do is they have a sale thing, wherever you pay a little bit of money and your horse is on a roster. It's on the website for sale. So people know it and they see it, and it's really, really well done.
And I think it changes it up a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, you do a lot of sales. You know how hard it is sometimes to get the word out. And if you can just have a horse, or somebody can have a horse that's available,
right?
That to me, that's a little bit different, isn't it?
Well, I think Tom Shazzeri's kind of copying it too. He's opening a ring up at Saugerties where I think it's going to be a sale horse ring, and it's going to be, they do videos. You buy the video, and then you have a video of your sale horse.
Do you think in this situation, because you've dealt with so many different disciplines over the years here, from the racehorse world to show horses, I mean, you've seen it all. Do you think that as far as sales now, do you think that's a good marketing tool? What do you think? Is that more of a modern
Sales are
way?
hard anywhere, right? I mean, I think if you have the best horse, Jillian's gray horse, everybody wants it.
Yes.
The mediocre kind, or a young horse, they're hard to sell. So it has to be something that's, and the fact that we have this, we have Stable View, we have the Vista. I mean, it's an amazing town. Somebody came to me today, and they're from Virginia, and they said to me, Virginia was such the hub in the 70s, and now it's looking like this is the hub.
Isn't that nice to hear?
Yeah.
Those of us that have hung in here waiting for it to come together.
Right.
I feel the same way. Bruce started me on this venture years before he was ill, and he always said, I have a dream, and I want everyone to live this dream that I have. And that's...
And the dreams come true.
It really has, but it's
he's not here to watch it, but it really, his legacy's here, and everybody feels it.
It means a lot.
For sure. So, yeah, it was really, really good.
All right, and our next one on course, and this is someone who you know very well, Tommy John Russell.
Yes, I raised those boys. They're very polite, and they're good riders.
And they're good riders, and they're fun to have here. So on Utopie de la Vigne.
I don't really know this horse, but they have some nice new horses. I think they wintered in Venice. And now, I have to say people are thinking about leaving horses home. They maybe take 5 or 6 to these shows in the Florida, but to leave horses home with somebody that can really, I think it's going to get bigger and bigger. The horse shows here and the horses schooling.
Well, I think that's important, don't you? I think that's why we still have to, even during December, and now we're looking at having even smaller shows, just to have, we want to keep this horse park working. And I think that you've got a really good point, which is I think more and more people are staying home.
Right.
And
they're staying home. Bob Bell's moving here.
Yep.
I mean, moving some of his shows here.
In June.
And that's wonderful. And you'd like to see it not overused, but
that's
used enough. You don't want it to get to be one of those venues that's every single week for the rest of your life. But I think.
Well, we call it Bruce's rule. I don't think we're allowed to. He always said, remember, even the smallest show, it can be special. And I think that's important.
And he always made it special with his parties, and I think Jack puts on a really, really nice party. And they had and having the Carolina Hunter Hall of Fame here was really good. So it's just a lot of things are booming.
It's really exciting.
Yes, it is. And we're happy to have you here, so you'll probably move here full time.
Well, it's feeling like that. Believe me. I enjoy my time in Aiken. I call it the Aiken state of mind. And here we have Tommy John. Made that line just look easy.
Yep, very good rider. He's a very smart young man, too. He has bought real estate. He writes books. He's got a lot going for him.
I love to hear that. The first part of the combination down.
Yes, he did?
Yeah, just had it down the first part of it.
He wrote it beautifully.
He did. I thought so, too.
Yes, we're so lucky. And I hear that somebody's sponsoring the Kentucky Derby.
But we did it. We are so excited about
wonderful.
this because we're going to have a really fun time after this. Bruce was always about putting people together for any reason. And last year, do you remember last year we were all kind of bundled around a screen and we said, no, this year we're going to do something different.
Which is wonderful. Really wonderful.
Well, you know about the racehorse world. more so than anybody in this town, and I think that's
I don't know
really,
about that.
but it's really fun to be able to have everybody together here. So just that one rail. Yeah.
But that's one thing, we're all supporting Doug. Everybody, Daniel came up to Doug and
Oh,
did a
yeah.
good job, and that's, and then if somebody like Carrie Fromer does the pin hooking, and she's had some very good horses leave her stable to go win a lot of races, and everybody seems to be behind everything.
And I feel so more than ever, and Bruce always said he wanted this to be the place where people came together
Yes.
here at the Aiken Horse Park, and that's why we called it Bruce's Field right from the beginning. We coined it that because we wanted to be a gathering place,
Right,
and it
for
really
sure.
feels like that now.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
I love.
Well, you can hardly get a place to park. Look at
Exactly. And now we have Daniel Geithner on course with Girardelli. I don't know this horse, but he had said that it was relatively new to him. Talk about, too, Andrea, the way that Peter Grant designed this course. It's not the tallest course, but it has plenty of questions.
Yes, and so a young horse is not going to get hurt. An older horse has got to be pretty careful, and the seasoned riders have to be, it's not his time allowed is tight enough for sure. It's not crazy tight, but it's tight enough, and he's made a lot of good questions. Of course, him being from Calgary, he's done a lot out in Spruce Meadows and in Canada, and Michelle being here. I mean, to get great course designers like that, it's just amazing.
It really is. I just love, and Michelle pretty much all winter long designed for us for the Tuesday shows.
Right.
I mean, it was pretty nice to have those courses.
Have him here. And
Yeah.
He walked, as I say, with Jillian, and he seemed
nice.
happy to
I
do
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
And that looked like it just came down. Andrea, were you here for the eventing showcase? Did you get to see this place?
I wasn't. I was here right before it. I saw it all being built and
Built.
everything. I think I went to Ocala that weekend,
Yeah.
but everybody that was here just loved it.
I mean, I can't tell you how the rave reviews, and we just so exciting to have the eventing truly have their showcase here. And
Yes.
The jumps were incredible. The crowd just loved it.
And I have to say, Aiken fared very well as far as the results at Rolex. Getting your horses ready here and going to Rolex, it looked to me like they did a good job.
Absolutely. So coming home looks like he just had that one down. Oh, two down.
It's hard you got golf carts in
Yeah,
it's hard to see.
it is.
86.866 the time.
Well, believe it or not, the weather held off. It did not look like this.
We lost it.
Once again, a lot of us keep talking to who above there.
Yes.
Come on, Bruce.
Yeah, come on, Bruce. Give us try.
The order on course now.
And I think the tables, did they sell most of the tables?
Everything sold.
Wow, that's
Sold out,
wonderful.
which all the sponsors have really jumped on board. Because, as you know, if we don't have these two shows, this is what keeps the park doors open. I mean, this is really what it is.
Sure.
It's a charity strictly for this. And this is something we're excited about. And here's somebody that is new to Aiken, Gavin Moylan, on a horse named Aldine. He's from Virginia.
Gavin's got some lovely, lovely horses. He used to go to Ocala, now he goes to Wellington. And he lives in Virginia, and he's got some very good sponsors. He's got a lovely stallion. Is this the stallion? No. He's got another horse that's a stallion that he's doing later. And actually, he's got a very good sponsor. Apparently, this moved from California to Free Runs.
I believe so,
Plantation, yeah.
yes.
So it's nice that people are coming here so that they can see
Oh, yes.
exactly what's happening.
We love that.
Yeah. Got to keep the sponsors so they don't have to leave their farms and their houses, so they can just come over and watch their horses jump here once in a while.
That's a nice way to watch your horses jump. What's unique about this, though, Andrea, and I've still to this day, it's taken me a little time to get used to, is having this horse park so close to town.
Oh, it's amazing, yes. But, and Hitchcock Woods.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people were asking me on Monday, Tuesday, can they ride through the woods? I said, sure, go out there and go left. And I'm sure Sarah Wilderson or some of those people would love to kind of show them around.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing with our hospitality. A lot of the local people who have farms here and or horses, I mean, we're trying to get them more and more involved, which is important.
And concierge tent is very, very nice.
It's fun, and that's all the ladies committee, we call them. Oh, that's too bad. Well, I know you probably have to run in a little bit, but I just want to say
that was so fun. Scott, you're the best.
Thanks for joining me.
Oh, anytime.
I appreciate it.
Maybe you want to catch Daniel Geithner, who's right here.
Yeah, I'm going to catch a couple of riders along the way, but I appreciate you coming by, and we'll be cheering you on.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hope we do okay in the jump off.
Fingers crossed for you. And just the one rail down, so that'll be 4 faults.
86.856 is the time and 4 faults.
And we'll now have on course Clayton Russell. And Clayton Russell, brother of Tommy John.
Clayton Russell showing for Vic Russell with Columbus, North Carolina.
There he is with his dad.
Here we go now. Clayton aboard the first 52 riders in today's class. Finished well at Foxley down in Venice, Tryon in April as well.
And joining me now is Brian Lookabill. Brian has been helping us in co-managing this week. We're trying to get him here for both weeks next year, but we'll work on him. But Brian, tell us about what your feeling is. We just had Andrea King join us for a bit and talking about the course. You know, we agree that it's plenty of course, certainly, but you know, it's not the tallest course, and yet a pretty tight time.
It's a -1.40 to -1.45 height here, so that's that American or national standard. I honestly, you know that I've got a lot of stuff going on, so I haven't really been able to watch a whole lot. In fact, right now, I'm going to be able to see a lot more than I already have seen. I think we're already working on one knockdown here.
Yeah, and it's tough enough. It's with Clayton Russell. I mean, it's tough enough. I mean, we have a few clear, which is great.
I tell you what's great. Peter Grant comes to us out of Spruce Meadows, and he. I first met Peter a couple years ago doing a show out in Denver, the National Western Stock Show. And when you come from a different environment, like Spruce Meadows really has, I mean, it has the market cornered on high-level elite shows. They have a certain style. They make sure that every single one of their classes is different up there from the class before it in the schedule, and that's something that's been sort of a hallmark of Peter this week, which results in, you know, sometimes some major course changes and things like that. But it also results in, of course, some new looks every time you see a new class, and a lot of different kinds of challenge that you wouldn't see otherwise. But I think he's a great course designer, to be honest with you, and he puts a lot of thought and a lot of effort into what he does.
And you know, as Andrea was saying, what's really nice about Peter's course today is even the young horses. I mean, again, it's very jumpable. And I think that's what we're going to see. And once we have a good, solid first round, we're going to see quite a jump off, it looks like.
Indeed, they'll be able to turn sharp if they need to. And one thing about this footing, footing has come a long way in the last 15 years. And this is one of the sort of cutting-edge footings that does have a textile in it. And it really creates a great base for the horses to have spring off of. And you know, you're getting to the point where a lot more of the Grand Prix classes are seeing a lot more clears these days because the footing has gotten to be so good and come down to such a science.
I tell you what, interestingly enough, Andrea made a really good point. She has a thoroughbred earlier today that doesn't have the longest stride, and she said it was amazing how he was covering the ground on this footing.
Absolutely. You know, it gives him a nice cushion, but at the same time, in a lot of older style footings, and there's nothing wrong with those either. I mean, there are a lot of people that say those are still the best, the natural footings, and I think there's a place for all of them. But if you're in a competition venue like this, you need to have a footing that you can rely on almost regardless of the weather. This might not be what you would have at home, but it would be what you'd have in a place like this where you're going to see round after round, and the footing has to be able to hold up to that, and it also has to be able to hold up to all different types of conditions, even if you have a lot of rain. And it really does allow them, because it is so consistent, to cover the ground nicely and to get a great jump.
And on course now is Luis Mirazabal.
Yep. He's been one of those young, great riders out of Venezuela. I remember when he was, I believe, in the children's jumpers, and several Venezuelan and Colombian riders that I knew that would compete in Wellington and then in Kentucky over the summer. Came a long way in a very short period of time.
Absolutely.
He's one of them for sure. Unfortunately, rail coming down there at the DFG Stables. Oxer at the top end of the ring, closest to the scoreboard.
So unfortunately, I think he had 8 faults there.
You know what's cool about the way we've got this set up, Scott, is that here we are, we're watching the Grand Prix ring from a little bit of a distance. We do have our monitor so that we can get a good angle on the jumps, but also we're in a position where we are right now, and I know the audience at home can't see this, but we can actually see exhibitors and even talk to them as they're coming by. And
well, it's been nice because, you know, I've talked to a couple of the riders and I've said just stop by, and, you know, that's always the feeling that Bruce wanted, is that the riders also had a voice. We talked about this a lot over the years, and he said that was one of his favorite things.
Indeed, and it also allows us to draft some players into the game here where they can, you know, especially after they've shown and they've actually experienced the course firsthand, to be able to give us some of that insight. And so we got some folks stopping by after they wrap up. We just had Christina Kelly, who's actually not showing at our Grand Prix level this year, though she has won here several times in the past and, of course, at other locations.
On course now is Christy Israel on Clouseau. And speaking of one of the riders joining us right now, Chase Boggio. Chase, come on in.
Chase, we just had Christy Israel, unfortunately, there at the Barb Gold Oaks Cup. Oxer, I believe she had a refusal, and that knocked the fence down, which in that case, of course, means it's 4-fault penalty for the refusal, and then they're going to add 6 seconds on the clock as a penalty for the timeout. Do you have a few seconds, few minutes maybe that you can just tell us about your round? I know you had a just finished up there with co-pilot, and I believe you had a couple of knockdowns. What do you think about the course and anything you would change for your next time around?
Yeah, it was a tough course for sure. The course today is a little bit bigger than co-pilot and I are used to jumping in a normal Grand Prix class. So a couple of rider errors on my part. I got a little impatient to some front rails of the Oxers, and then he just peaked down at the little gate under number 4. So not my best, a little disappointed, but he's a wonderful horse, and it's nice that he lets me get into these bigger classes.
How long have you been showing co-pilot?
I've had him for about 3 years. We got him in the fall of 2016.
Okay. And no matter what, I mean, everybody would say if you're a horseman and you do show a lot, it's mileage, it's learning experience, and you take that on to the next show and things, you know, possibly turn around for you. Even if you made a mistake here, you look at that as a learning experience. And now, I don't spend nearly as much time in the Southeast as I used to. I actually moved up to Kentucky about 10 years ago, actually a little more than that now. But and so I don't get to see you show as much, but I remember when you were showing in the juniors and then came through the big equitation ranks and did quite nicely there. What's been going on with you the last couple of years?
A lot. So I'm trying to do the weekend warrior thing right now. I've actually got a full-time desk job during the week.
I think I talked to your mom and dad a while back, and they said you had become a full-grown adult.
Yes, yeah, trying to. So these bigger classes, it's my mindset has changed a little bit since when I was growing up. I don't beat myself up as much as I probably would after a mediocre round, and view it as a lot more of a fun experience. So I'm just glad to be able to ride and jump on the weekends.
And we're glad to have you too. You're always a pleasure to have around. And what is it you're doing in the professional world?
I work in marketing. I sell Graco and baby jogger strollers and car seats, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with.
Absolutely.
So that's how I spend my 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
All right. Would you ever consider taking your marketing prowess and bringing it into the horse show world? We could always use somebody who can push this to a larger audience.
Yeah, for sure. And I've thought about it. I think longer term, I would definitely like to pursue something a little bit more entrepreneurial in the horse world, whether it be kind of a type of product or a service. So I think horses will always be a part of my life, whether riding or professional. So yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. Well, let's take a look here. We'll just watch the round. Currently, Maria Roberts and Tyson Uno making their way around.
Yes.
And so far, I think we're working on 3 clears. The 3 clears are Jillian Beal King. We've got Haley Gassel and Doug Payne, who not only shows the jumpers, but also an eventer, and just last week was up there in Lexington at the 3-day event.
Yeah, talk about a jack of all trades. He, from what I understand, is a very good eventer, and then he's very competitive and very fast in the bigger jumper classes. So he's a man of many talents, I guess.
For sure, and usually that jack of all trades finishes with master of none, but he actually sort of masters both of them. And here we've got a knockdown at the DFG Stables. Oxer, Maria Roberts, and Tyson Uno then currently working on a 4-fault penalty, I believe. I think that was her first knockdown.
And I think David Jennings, her coach, used to ride this horse in the Grand Prix classes. This might be her first time at this level, or one of her first times.
Well, a couple of rails down and a couple of time faults as well, but how about a nice round of applause?
It sounds like we've got the knockdowns and the time combining there. So she's got 8 jumping faults, 5 faults on the clock. The time allowed is 88 seconds, so she exceeded that by 5 commenced seconds. That's a total of 13 faults. And that brings us now to Kyle Dewar, native of Canada, based in Ocala. I think he's just making his way back up north from Ocala, where he spent the winter months. The second round, or second entry of the day, Clever Vandel. Kyle was one of those that made it into the jump off on Thursday when we had the welcome stake.
Third in Thursday's welcome. A second place finish for this combination.
Finished up third there.
This class.
Of course, David Jennings was the winner of that class, and we've got him coming up later on in the order.
And Kyle's always a very fast rider. He's always got a couple of horses in the bigger classes, so he's always very competitive and one to try and beat for sure.
What did you find was the trickiest part of this course? Obviously, you had those 3 knockdowns, but if you could break it down for the audience out there, and you're watching Kyle, actually it looked like he was getting a little rough there going up to 6.
Yeah, I think the tough part about this course was that there's a lot of related lines, 3-4 jumps in a row. So if you're a little off your track at one of the fences, even if you don't make a mistake at that particular fence, you might be set up to make a mistake, 1, 2, 3 jumps later. So the long run down to the triple combination, I think it's easy to kind of get anxious there, and that's exactly what I did. And then the middle line, the triple bar with a little bit of a long 6 strides to the vertical in and out, and then a big kind of sweeping bending line to a very square oxer, I thought was a tough part as well.
Oh, wow. I tell you, that may have been one of those situations that you were talking about there. It looked like he left a little early coming down the diagonal line at 11, and that may have set him off just a little bit getting to 12, and he actually took down the last rail, or the back rail at 12. So that might have been exactly sort of the scenario you were talking about there. That related distance came into play, since if you have trouble going into the line, you got to correct it before you get out of the line. There's not a lot of time to think about that.
Yep.
So what we're doing doing right now is taking a drag break. We're going to break down some of the fences, freshen up the footing a little bit to make sure the second half of the class has exactly the best footing they can possibly have. Chase, I appreciate you being with us here for a few minutes. You probably want to head off and get some refreshment, huh?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I probably need to go grab a shower and cool off.
All right, well, we appreciate it. Listen, we're going to go to this break midway through the first round. Scott, Mr. Evans will be back with us here shortly as well. And then we'll come back with the remaining 14 in round 1. 3 currently ready to jump off.
Quick drag break. Daniel Geithner on Kenwood for the Kenwood Syndicate. Daniel's third ride. This has been a real family affair for Daniel now, with his daughter Lily showing in the jumpers as well as pony hunters, and son Wyatt really pursuing his tennis. It's great to have them again, so supportive of this horse show, as well as being on the board of the Aiken Horse Park Foundation. And we have another clear. So 4 in the jump off now.
Harold Chopping, Southern Pines, next on course, he shows the Andrew Philbrick entry. Phantom, 9-year-old stallion. This pair had top placings all winter, including a second place finish in a $100,000 Grand Prix in Ocala in February. It is a Harold Chopping and Phantom.
And on course now, Harold Chopping out of North Carolina. The C part of the combination is down. And the in of that vertical double. And unfortunately, the 8 faults.
.556 next, have a go here in Aiken Premier Grand Prix is at the end. Owned by Molly Kinney of South Hamilton, Massachusetts.
And Etienne and Molly Kenny on course now. Again, so many new faces here at Bruce's Field. It's great to have such variety, and Again, new people joining us, either heading home from Florida or beginning their spring showing down here. It's great to have them. See the DFG jump come down again. As well as the Deirdre Valancourt. Again, so many sponsors here, local sponsors here supporting the Aiken Charity Horse Show, which we greatly appreciate. And unfortunately, 16 faults. And on course now, Gavin Moylan and his Baloo Diamond.
146 next on course. Gavin Moylan, Marshall, Virginia, back in for his second run of the class with Baloo Diamond. Radiant Equine Middleburg, Virginia.
And this was the horse that Andrea King was speaking of earlier that Gavin has high hopes for.
Second and Thursday's welcome stake.
Unfortunately, that refusal is going to cost him. He's certainly trying to jump as clean as possible. The second part of that vertical double is down.
Finish up at 3 rails down, 12 jumping, 11 to climb, and 98 to 81.
And as you can see on the board, 12 jumping, 17 time. Oh, 11 time faults. Unfortunately, he'll be saving it for another day, but that was a horse certainly we saw in the welcome class earlier this week here with great potential for Gavin.
Our next to compete, Clayton Russell back in aboard his second ride of the class. 11-year-old warm blood mare, Maleficent. Entry of Vic Russell in Columbus, North Carolina.
Turned in some clear rounds, good places in Tryon recently.
And on course now is Clayton Russell on his Maleficent. Maleficent is a horse that he's had for a while, as I understand, and has had some good success. Let's see how he does here on this Peter Grant course. And we will be live here next Friday with our International Hunter Derby as well as a Grand Prix again, same time here on Saturday. We hope you'll join us. Oh, and had that oxer down. And again, the Deirdre Valancourt oxer down, coming home to the last jump. And looks like he had the last jump as well.
On course for Maleficent and Clayton Russell. They'll finish up on 12, 85-324. 588 next on course. 20th in the order now. Here's Tim Madrix.
And here we are with Tim Madrix.
Owned and shown by Tim from Leeds, Alabama.
With his Ebelina W.
Good prizes and the Grand Prix competition in Gulfport and Atlanta recently.
Tim coming to join us all the way from Alabama. Coming into the combination here with one down so far.
Bad luck at the David Stinson, the vertical fence number 4 coming down for Tim and Emily W. They'll finish up on 4.
Just the 4 faults.
86.566 time into 7th place.
So again, sitting 7th right now, fast 4 faulter. And we still have quite a few left here, so it would be interesting to see if they can beat that time. And coming on course now is Daniel Geithner with Oak Ledge Farms Fazoo.
Daniel Geithner back in the board, his next ride is Fazoo, Tree of Oak Ledge Farm of Emmonsville, Virginia. This pair finished up 3rd in the Ocala Grand Prix a month or 2 ago. First place finish in the Russell Hall Memorial Jumper Classic in Blowing Rock. A 9-year-old gelding Fazoo. Okay.
And speaking with Daniel earlier this week, he really talked highly about this horse. He said that horse has come along very, very well for his owner, and he's very, very pleased with the results so far, and thinks that this horse could really go on to be quite a Grand Prix horse. Daniel Geithner and Fazoo. And just had the C element of that combination down. Again, jumping in beautiful form.
So the triple combination causing trouble for a few of our riders in today's class. Knockout at 7, C scoring 4 for Daniel Geithner and 84.658 is the time they'll take over the 7th place spot now. Daniel with one
And there we are.
and one of our quarter returns for the jump off.
Again, slipping into 7th place now with that faster of the 4 falters. He still has one more shot.
With Marshall M. Dillon, an issue of Windy Loose from Milford, New Jersey. 10th place in this class last year.
And here's Doug Payne on course now. And we were speaking of Doug earlier with Andrea King, talking about how nice it is again for him to be based here, having had amazing results in the Rolex 3-day event last week in Lexington. I just had the B part of that combination down. And the DFG jump as well. He does have one in the jump off though, with his quintessence.
On-course for Marshall M. Dillon, Doug Payne, 16 faults, 82.700 is the time on course.
And as we can see here on the scoreboard, 16 faults for Doug Payne and Marshall M. Dillon.
Down to 5 remaining in the first round of competition. 4 competitors cleared, qualified for the jump off at the 268. Next round to go.
Here's Genevieve Edwards and her own event flag views. Genevieve from Aiken, Georgia, number 68.
Here we have Genevieve Edwards.
Ninth place in Thursday's Welcome State. Top place is going to Tryon in April.
And her own Vanta Black Demuse, owner rider Genevieve Edwards. Again, the B element and C element of the combination comes down. As well as the Deirdre Valancourt Oxer.
Triple combination causing problems once again. 2 down in the triple, 1 at the Deirdre Oxer as well. That's a 12-ball score. 466.
And finishing up with 12 faults for Genevieve Edwards. Here's Rodney Harkey now with his own Ecuador. Rodney out of Charlotte, and speaking with him earlier this week, he was a very dear friend of Bruce Duchessois, and he's just thrilled to be here, as well as being able to show his own Grand Prix horse here at Bruce's field. This is quite a story. Rodney came here by himself with his one horse, had the welcome class and the Grand Prix on his mind. Ah, that was too bad. So that refusal there, unfortunately, will keep him from joining us in the jump off. as well as that last jump coming down. So a total of 8 jumping and 10 time faults.
Kyle Dewar aboard his final run with Quasar Demetti, Trip Loriman Davis of Springville, Alabama, number 581.
And now joining us, Kyle Dewar on Quasar de Midi.
Jumping falls to 89.137 is the time on course, exceeding the time allowed of 88 seconds. That's your time, 89.137.
As you can see. Unfortunately, one time fault.
Two remaining now 510. Here's David Jennings is aboard the Full Circle Farm entry Caddy R, entry 510.
Oh, of course, now David Jennings and Caddy R. David being very successful earlier this week in our welcome class.
The winner of our welcome day. And looking to make it 2 for 2 here. First week of our Aiken here in Fort Worth.
And that jump just came down.
number 4, scoring 4 points for Caddy R and David Jennings. 83:59 is the time. And into 8th place with 1 minute.
One left now. David Jennings with his 4 faults.
Final entry.
Four clear so far. Looking for our 5th clear. Daniel Geithner on his last horse, November Hills Vesta de la Vardin. A horse that Daniel has high hopes for. Very excited here to be going last in the first round, hopefully to be posting a clear and have 2 in the jump off.
Down to our final entry on our busiest rider in the class, Daniel Geithner, bound for the first round.
We'll have a 15-minute break now between our last horse and our jump off. We hope you'll stay with us for this, what looks to be is going to be a very fast track.
Daniel Geithner with turn 4th. And here we go down with our final entry, 467. Once again, Daniel Geithner in aboard Vesta de la Vardin, riding for November Hill of Keswick, Virginia, 467.
Nice. And comes home with a clear round, so Daniel has 2 in the jump off. And we hope that mare can be as fast as she normally is in her jump off. We hope you stay with us here. We're going to have a quick drag, clean the footing up, get the jump off course. Please stay with us. Back in 15 minutes, live at the Aiken Charity Horse Show.
Just our final combination in the first round. And scored is number 252 next Monday. At Tara Metzner of Encinitas, California, showing for Davlin Farms of Rancho Santa Fe, California. Number 252 returning on a score of 89, wrapping up the second round.
And while we're waiting for the jump off here, here's Tara Metzner winning yesterday on this just incredible young horse that she has
next Monday, and
riding
Tara
for
Metzner
Davlin
with an
Farm out
89
of Rancho
from
Santa
panel
Fe,
one,
California.
and a
Tammy and
91
John Williams.
from panel two,
Now their
averaging
second
out for a
year
score
here
of
at the
90
Aiken
in the
Charity
second
Horse Show,
round.
and this is
Led
one of their
89
young horses, beat a
from
field
round
of
number one
almost
as
25
well. Two
horses
rounds
yesterday in the Hunter Classic.
179.
Very, very
Next
exciting.
Monday,
Big
and
scores
Tara
there,
Metzner,
89 and
last combination
91.
in today's $25,000 Aiken Premier Classic takes the top call and the blue ribbon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are center ring. For those of you who are in the pavilion, saw us walking out, wondering what was taking place. Well, we are obviously getting ready for the jump off here. We've got 5 great competitors coming back for a big time final round to find out who's the winner share of the prize money today. But all these exhibitors, while they definitely want to focus on how they compete and how they train their horses, we also like exhibitors, those they are training and otherwise. And this is going to be the first year that we actually put into effect a very special sportsmanship award here at the Aiken Charity Horse Show. And it's going to be named in honor of a great man who only recently passed back in March of this year after a long battle. And everybody who's in this sport, hunters and jumpers, would know his name. It is Mr. Randy Mullins. And Randy Mullins was a native of West Virginia. He actually went to the University of West Virginia, started actually training while he lived there, but eventually he moved to Germantown, Tennessee, and of course it was there that he started New Venture Farm. And out of that operation in Germantown, countless champions, whether they be horses or riders, demonstrated what it was that Randy taught them. And when I say that, what I mean is what Randy taught them as competitors, but also as great lovers of the sport and sportsmen to those who were in the sport with them. So Randy, a fantastic man, unfortunately passed away on March 20th, and right now he's making himself known just behind us, if you didn't notice that. But a fantastic guy, and always a man with a fantastic sense of humor as well. He kept people's spirits alive, and one of the great things that Randy was quoted as saying on a regular basis was, "A bad day at the horse show is still better than a good day in the coal mines." And the reason he said that was because obviously coal mining is a difficult profession, but his family was actually in the coal mining profession, and so he knew firsthand what that was all about. This is going to be the first time that the Goddard family, J.P. Goddard, of course, of Equus Events, has decided to install this trophy, a beautiful trophy that you see here demonstrated by John Brandreb and Ms. McCutcheon in all of the awards. And before we actually dedicate this trophy, let's put the microphone over to Jack Talbot just a minute to tell you a little bit more about Randy Mullins.
I just want to thank JP and his family for this award. Just the nicest man any of us have ever met in our life. Nobody could deserve it more. Okay, so thank you so much, and thank you, Randy.
Indeed, thanks to Randy Mullins. And accepting on behalf of, or rather accepting as the inaugural winner, I should say, is Mr. Chad Wattridge. And perhaps no one knew Randy better than Chad, trained by Randy and learned so much from him, including that great spirit and sportsmanship for fellow competitors. And I know there was an emotional moment back in March when unfortunately we lost Randy. Another emotional moment now, I would say, as we congratulate him on being such a great sport, as well as a fantastic horseman and exhibitor. So ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let's see how loud and proud you can get for Chad Wattridge, the inaugural winner of the Randy Mullins Sportsmanship Trophy. Okay, and with that, we're getting close, about a minute or two away from the return round here. So we'll go ahead and turn it back over to Mike Lowry in the booth to tell you about that jump-off round.
Okay, so once again, 5 competitors qualified for the jump off. Jillian Bill King returning first aboard Phil Bunny Fossili, White Dart 2, Haley Gassel, Quintessence Doug Payne, and then Daniel Geithner with his 2 entries qualified. The jump off track starts over the butterfly vertical fence 9A. So 9, then over to the BFG Oxford at 10, then around to 6, the Purina Oxford, and what's left of the triple combination 7AB. After the blue and whites, now a double, a roll back around to west fence number 4. We're calling it fence 15 now because it went from being a vertical to an oxer, the green, yellow, and whites out there in the center of the ring. And then a gallop down, roll back, and finish up over the original fences number 1, the green and white D and W group vertical, and fence number 2, the oxer, going toward the end gate there. So fences 9A, then 10, 6, 7AP, 4, 1, and 2. The jump off track, and of course our 5 competitors. Plenty of room to run and jump. A great group of competitors here in the jump off. It's going to be a great few rounds. Here's John Cranswell in the ring to sound the call as the first few looks like they are just about ready to go.
And welcome back for the jump off here. Starting us up in this 5-horse jump off is going to be Jillian Beal King.
Okay, here we go now.
The young lady that Andrea King was speaking about earlier.
Show the way.
Again, jump off 9A, 10, 6, 7AB, 4, 1, and 2. Time allowed is 47 seconds, and I believe it's going to be quite a horse race. We've got a few fast ones here. Mean to 7AB. Around to fence number 4. Back to the first jump. And then down to fence number 2.
Good aggressive ride by Jillian and Phil Bunny Fossili. Sucked back a little bit at the Purina Oxford and had that down. So a 4-fault score to start things off. A 44.147 is the time.
So as you can see, 4 faults, 44.147.
Here's Haley Gassel aboard White Dart 2 for 3:29.
Haley Gassel now on course with Quite Dark 2.
It's okay, guys. Thank you.
Again, trained by David Jennings. Clear so far. And finishing there over 1.
It's a nice round of double clear now for Haley Gaskell and quite Doug too. Our automatic class leader 44.641.
And there we are, 44.641. Automatic leader clear, double clear for Haley. Great job.
Aiken well represented at the jump off, 6:52. Next in is Doug Payne aboard Quintessence. For Jane Dudensky, a clear round 44.641 is the leader at this point.
And on course now, Doug Payne with Quintessence. Quintessence is Jane Dudensky's horse. Local rider here, Doug Payne. He's definitely taking a shot. Oh, last jump
What a
down.
great ride. It's just the last rail down before Doug. 4 faults. So 42.302. Time was there.
4 faults, 42.302. Faster of the 4 faults.
Down to just 2 remaining in the jump off, both of them ridden by Daniel Geithner. First of his 2 clears in the ring now for the jump off. Here he comes. A new wrong color is Kenwood. And Daniel Geithner to have
here's
a go.
Daniel.
Got to beat 44.6 for the lead.
So Daniel Geithner and Kenwood, certainly a veteran of Daniel's. He knows this horse show grounds very well, having shown here since the very first Aiken Charity Horse Show. He's had some good results over the years. B elements down there. So coming home with 4 faults, fast 4 faults. So the fastest of the 4. 41.642.
He will be no worse than second in today's class, where the 4 faults 41.642 aboard Kenwood.
So Daniel will hop on his next horse. We're gonna hopefully beat a storm that has been surrounding us for a little bit here. I think we're gonna be okay.
Daniel to hop off of Kenwood is back on Vesta de la Farnese, and then we'll wrap things up. Presentation of awards, and we hope you'll join us under the tent for the Aiken Charity Derby Party, which will happen right after we wrap things up here. First time for the Kentucky Derby, 6:50. That's about 35 minutes away from now. We'll be streaming the race on several big screens, and Foundation are proud to be a part of the Equus Foundation Equine Ambassadors Program. The Equus
And still
Foundation
left
is
to
the
go
only
is Daniel
national
on
charity
November
in the
Hills
United
Vesta
States
de
100%
la Varden,
dedicated to ensuring the welfare of
a
America's
mare that
horses
is
and
really
sponsoring
shown great
the
promise
horse
for
breeding
Daniel.
farm.
And I
Our
know his
equine
owner,
ambassadors are
Rebecca,
sport
is
horses.
hopefully she's
The
watching here
owners donate
today.
a portion of their winnings
If so, a
to
big
the
shout out to her. I know
horse
this is a
competition
real favorite
to
of
support
hers.
the mission of the Equus Foundation. Our first equine ambassador is Lafitte Muse, owned by Cheryl Olson, and then by Amanda Steve, one of our exhibitors here at this year's show. To learn more about this wonderful program, visit equusfoundation.org. We'd also like to thank Mill Keith for sponsoring this year's Friday Local Days. This year will feature local days with hopes that we can provide local riders an opportunity to compete and enjoy Bruce's Field. Local days are open to horses not entered in any other classes at the show. The registered owner of the horse must live within 75 miles of Aiken. Thanks again to Banks Mill Feed sponsoring this year's Friday Local Days. Once again, make sure you stop by and visit our vendors here on the grounds this year. They are participating in a weekly raffle for one of our Bruce's Field throws. Purchases at any of our vendors entitle you to a chance to win this beautiful throw. There's a sample of it at our hospitality booth if you want to have a piece. Farm Vet is here on the grounds this week, located near the tent barns behind the jumper ring. Visit Farm Vet for all of your grooming, health, and barn supply needs. Farm Vet is your leader in horse health, and they'll be here until Sunday, May the 12th.
So again, the time to beat of Haley Gassels is 44.641. Daniel Geithner now warming up. Will be joined here in just a moment. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage here at the Aiken Charity Horse Show at Bruce's Field.
You can also visit Oak Manor Saddlery on the grounds next to the jumper ring for all of your horse show needs. Great sales going on. You can visit their store at 2677 Wagner Road for even more great fun stuff to choose from. And ask about their delivery service at the show. Savvy Fruits is here on the grounds as well near the coffee fair. Since 1924, they produce high-quality custom boots and ready-to-wear pro boots. Try them and feel the difference with their close contact sole and best quality leather. They also have vegan boots. And stop by for a cold bottle of water and some air conditioning at the Tap Room's mobile unit. Their fully stocked mobile unit is located in the infield and has everything you need for the horse show and more. Stable View is a venue close to I-20 just north of Aiken, offering weddings, corporate retreats, and conference facilities. Over the past 5 years, Stable View has gradually developed its program of equestrian-related events to offer equestrian boarding, also adventure, dressage, and other jumper activities. Stable View Fancy Academy Series offers upcoming riders and horses the opportunity to practice and learn how to see
And Daniel's coming up now, getting prepared. Let's see how he can do with, again, the leading time right now, 44.641.
Daniel makes his way to the ring aboard his final entry in the jump-off. We'd like to give a shout-out to some of our division sponsors here at the show, including DFG Stables, a full-service training, sales, and show facility for hunters and jumpers nestled in an idyllic grove of towering pine trees in the heart of Aiken Sports Country. Also, Full Circle Farm, a full-service show barn based in Franklin, Tennessee, and Ocala, Florida, offering training, boarding, sales, and a year-long schedule of attending premier horse shows across the country.
And there she is coming into the ring now. Vesta de la Verdun.
And here we go. Here he is, our final entry in the jump off. It's Daniel Geithner aboard Vesta de la Verdun. Leading time 44.647. You need to be faster than that and clear to secure the win in today's Grand Prix. All the jumps are up.
Clean round 42.
No time faults. The clear round 42. 496. Daniel
496. 42, 496, and good enough to win.
Top five. And
Big shout out to November Hill in Keswick, Virginia. And Rebecca, I know you're watching. Congratulations to you. Great mare. We've watched her come along. Terrific to see her win here today at the Aiken Charity Horse Show. Again, there it is, 42, 496, and clear. Stay with us for the presentation. I hope you enjoyed our coverage here at the Aiken Charity Horse Show here at Bruce's Field in Aiken, South Carolina. I have to say, somehow or another, the weather stayed with us because we've had looming storms all day. Nice to be able to have everybody join us. We have a wrap-up party here for the Kentucky Derby, a viewing party shortly right after our presentation, and we hope you'll join us next week here, starting on Wednesday, all week long here in Aiken. And again, Friday we will have our International Derby, and we will live stream that, as well as Saturday Grand Prix, both at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We hope you'll join us.
Great group of riders and a great finish in today's Grand Prix. Weather is held off. We're thankful for that as well. Setting up for our presentation of awards. John Frantrab walking into the ring with the president of the Aiken Horse Park Foundation, Jack Wetzel, along with the representative of the Ladies Committee, Jane Ellenberg, to present the awards in today's class. So we've already discussed our 6th through 12th placings, ready to present our top 5 finishers. Congratulations to our 5th place finisher. That is Jillian Beal King aboard Kill Bunny Vasily. Entry of Monkeyfish Investments, Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. 4th place award, and now entry number 652, Doug Payne and Quintessence. This Doug showing for Jane Dudinsky of Free Union, Virginia. Our 3rd place award is Daniel Geithner aboard Kenwood, showing for the Kenwood Syndicate, finishing in 3rd. Our 2nd place finisher. 2nd place finisher is Haley Gassel, and her own Quite Dark 2. Going for West Wine Equine Training Center, Haley and Quite Dark 2, one of only 2 to go double clear in today's Grand Prix. Missy McCutcheon in the ring, maintaining order. And ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, please, for the winner of our Aiken Premier Grand Prix. Here we go now. It's Vespa de la Vardine and Daniel Geithner showing for November Hill. Congratulations, Daniel Geithner, taking home top honors in today's class. Daniel out there, Vespa de la Rondine, and groom Raul Mora. Participate in the presentation.
And the winning picture there with groom Raul Mora, who's been with Daniel Geithner and Kathy
and ready for
years and years, runs that whole show. This has been a very important mare to him as well. Again, congratulations to the entire DFG team.
Daniel
a lot of horses
winner
here this week.
3rd today.
This
Haley
is
Gassel,
just a
Quite
great
Dark,
mare.
finishing in
Terrific
2nd.
promise.
Doug
I know we'll be seeing her in the winner's circle a lot.
And Quintessence, Jillian Beal King, Kill Bunny Vasily, galloping as well. Once again, Aiken represented very well 3 of the top 5 finishers in today's Aiken Premier Grand Prix. Daniel will keep going around at least one more time, and the rest of our competitors can head to the gate. Congratulations once again, Daniel Geithner, winner of today's Grand Prix. Thanks again to Jack Wetzel and to Jane Ellenberg assisting in the presentation of awards. And up next, it's the Aiken Charity Derby Party in the special events tent. Hope to see you there.